Hello everyone. Today I want to tell you the sad life story of Michael Jackson. If you like the story, don't forget to subscribe for more. Michael was a small boy in a busy home. He loved music from the first days of his life. This love was strong, even during difficult times. I want to show you a hard truth. He was the most famous man. He was also the most lonely person on earth, sadly. The year was 1958, when Michael was born in Gary, Indiana. This was a very small town in the United States of America. His family was very big. 10 people lived together in one house. The house was too small for them all to live well and happy. They did not have much money for simple things. Daily life was always hard for his whole family to manage well, always. Michael's father, Joe, worked at a factory. Joe loved music, and he wanted big, famous things for his young sons fast. Joe saw a special talent in his small children. He decided his sons must be famous singers very quickly and must shine. He started a music group fast. Michael and his brothers had to practice dancing and singing all the time, every single day. I must tell you, this practice time was not fun. It was only heavy, tiring, and endless work for the small children alone. Joe was a very hard and cold father. He wanted everything to be perfectly right from his children every single day. Young Michael lived with great fear of his father. His father would hit them for even one small mistake at home or on stage. Michael became the best performer in the world, but he completely lost his simple, normal childhood fun and simple playtime. He had no time for school or friends. His whole life was only about singing, dancing, and constant hard practice alone. This hard start made him a huge star later, but it left a deep, painful mark on his young heart forever after, sadly. Michael later said he felt no real love. He was just a worker for his demanding father Joe for many difficult years. He always missed the simple happiness of a normal life. This deep sadness never truly left him alone, I think sadly. Joe made him a star, but Joe also took Michael's childhood joy and his simple happiness away from him completely. This hard start was the first great sadness. It taught Michael about the world's cruel side and its cold business soon. The music group was named the Jackson 5. They quickly became very good with all the constant hard practice. I saw them shine. Michael was the main singer of the group. His voice was the clearest and best sound of the entire young music group. He showed a great natural talent for dancing. He moved his small body in ways other people could not easily copy or do. The group traveled all the time. They performed their music at many small clubs and talent shows everywhere in America. Their lives changed in 1968. They signed a big contract with the famous Motown Records company in a big way and moved on. Motown was the biggest music company in America. This big contract was a huge opportunity for the poor family then. The Jackson 5 suddenly became very famous across the entire country fast. Their first songs went straight to #1 quickly. Everyone loved the talented young boy, Michael Jackson. His smiling face was seen on every single television screen always. Michael was only 10 years old. This great fame brought him an even heavier thing: constant pressure to be perfect daily. Joe pushed them much harder than before. He demanded they always succeed and win every single competition they entered to sing. They moved away from Gary to Los Angeles. This was a big, busy city, and they had to travel for many months without rest. They were famous stars, but they were still children. They had no time for simple things like playing outside and fun time. I think Michael felt confused often. He heard the loud cheers, but his father's harsh voice stayed louder in his mind always. The bright stage lights hid their deep loneliness. They felt daily stress under their father's strict watch every day. Joe controlled all the money the boys earned. Michael worked hard, but saw very little money himself in his own pocket, sadly. Outside, he was a superstar, but inside, he was a lonely boy. He deeply missed his quiet life before the fame came to his home. He often looked out the hotel window. He saw normal children running and playing freely outside in the park and wishing to join. He wished he could join them and be free. His tight schedule and his heavy fame made it impossible for him to do so easily. The music brought happiness to many people, but the music business was cold and hard for him always. I believe this truth. This was the high price of being very famous. Michael began to build a high, strong wall around his lonely heart, sadly and slowly. He trusted fewer people as his fame grew much larger. He felt the whole world watching him very closely and fast always. The Jackson 5 years took away his simple joy. They gave him many big worries that stayed with him for a long time always. This early loss of simple life would later make him search for love in strange and very painful ways for many years after. As Michael grew up, he strongly wanted to make his own music. He wanted to leave the Jackson 5 group for good now and be free to shine. He felt ready to start his own road. He clearly wanted to show the world his own style and unique creative ideas alone. I think it was time. In 1979, Michael released his first solo album. The album was called Off the Wall. It was an immediate, huge success everywhere in the world. People were amazed by his new sound and his powerful energy. He was no longer just the young boy group singer anymore at all. This album showed the world that Michael was now an adult artist. He had his own vision and his own strong voice to follow in music. The biggest and most important moment came in 1982. Michael released the world-changing Thriller album globally to everyone watching him. Thriller became the best-selling album of all time. It was a major cultural event in every single country on the whole earth then. People bought the album everywhere, and fast. The music video for the main song became a huge topic for everyone to talk about and watch. The music videos were like short movies. Everyone wanted to see the long and new Thriller dance video immediately and fast. In the Billie Jean video, Michael introduced his signature, most famous dance move to the world's public for the first time. This special move was the moonwalk. He looked like he was walking forward, but moving quickly backward on the floor always. When Michael performed the moonwalk on television, the whole world stopped completely. Everyone watched him very closely. I remember this day well. He officially became the true king of pop. He was an artist famous in every corner of the earth, very quickly and finally. This huge success brought great joy to the public, but it also brought terrible new personal problems for Michael himself, sadly. He was the most recognized person on the planet. He could no longer find any simple peace or quiet in his whole life anywhere. Michael started to feel more alone. It became too hard and dangerous for him to walk in any public place safely anymore, I think. He needed bodyguards everywhere. Simple tasks, like shopping, became totally impossible for him to do alone in the big city. He had millions of fans who loved him. He could not find one true, simple friend he could trust fully with his secrets and heart. His money and success grew larger every day, but his personal, inner loneliness grew much faster than his outside fame always. Michael missed his normal life very much. He wanted to escape the eyes of the public all the time and just hide away from them. The constant pressure to be perfect and to always shine started to cause big problems for Michael's health very fast. Around this time, I saw that he began making many physical changes to his face and appearance, frequently in secret. The heavy pressure to always look perfect in front of every camera became too difficult for him to handle well all the time. He started wearing strange clothes and makeup. He wanted to hide his true self. He created a strange public mask for the world. The simple boy who sang with his brothers was gone. The strange, guarded king of pop now stood in his place, always alone. Then, a terrible burn accident happened. This happened during a Pepsi commercial filming. It changed his life immediately and forever. He was badly hurt. He urgently needed very strong medicine to cope with the terrible pain that he felt constantly then. This strong medicine started his dangerous use of painkillers. This use would later cause him very great sadness and trouble. The public loved the shining star on the stage, but they did not understand the sad man behind the strange mask, I think. He often spoke about his lack of childhood love. He tried to give love to others while feeling empty inside his own heart. He created great charity work. He helped many poor children around the world. He was trying to heal his own past pain in a good way. The public started to talk about his changing look more often. They were often cruel and unkind in their words, sadly. Michael was a global icon who gave joy, but he was also a fragile human being. He felt pain very deeply always. I believe the loneliness of being the very best star was a heavy and painful weight. He carried this heavy weight every single day alone. He tried to use his wealth to build happiness, but happiness could not be bought with any amount of money at all. I know this truth. Michael had great wealth from his music. He used it to build a dream place where he could finally be a child again and play freely. He bought a massive area of land in California. This land was far from the busy city. He called it Neverland Ranch, proudly and loudly. He named it after a famous children's book. In this book, children never grow up. He hoped to find his own lost youth there, finally. Neverland was truly a magical dream. It had a roller coaster, a Ferris wheel, and many fun rides for playing and joy for all children. He built a small zoo there with many animals. He often invited poor or sick children to visit and play there for free. I think he hoped this special place would help him. It would help him find the simple happiness he lost during his difficult childhood years. But the media started to see Michael as very strange. They noted his gloves, sunglasses, and constant big hats in public places always. Newspapers wrote many weird and cruel stories about him. They gave him the painful nickname Wacko Jacko, every day without stopping. Michael was rich, but he was deeply lonely. He searched quickly for love and stability in his difficult private life. I know this feeling. He married Lisa Marie Presley. She was the famous daughter of Elvis Presley. This was a huge shock to the whole world watching him. This marriage was a huge surprise, but it was not happy for them. It did not last for very long, ending sadly and fast. Later, he married a nurse named Debbie Rowe. They had 2 beautiful children, a son and a lovely daughter for him to love. Michael loved his children more than anything. He covered their faces to protect them from the terrible life of huge fame. He did not want his children to lose their normal childhood. He lost his own. He wanted them to have the best life easily and safe. But the biggest sadness came next. The public and the media began to completely doubt and mistrust him very deeply. I saw this happen. In 1993, a family made a very serious claim against Michael. They said he did a bad thing to their young son sadly and cruelly. This claim was a massive global shock. Michael said it was a lie, and he was completely innocent of all the claims made against him. He paid a large sum of money to the family to quickly stop the court case. Many people thought he was guilty then and always because of this payment. The pain from this event was terrible. Michael's health became very bad due to the huge stress and constant worry every day and night. He began to urgently need strong medicines to sleep. He needed them to manage the constant, deep pain in his tired body every day. Neverland, his beautiful dream, quickly became a sad, lonely castle. The public eye watched his every step closely from outside the walls. He felt misunderstood and deeply betrayed by the world. This was especially true for the unkind newspapers and all the loud media always. The need to feel loved was stronger than his fame. But the public only saw the strange, different king of pop constantly on the news. The constant pressure and the bad claims forced Michael to close Neverland to the public. He had to live there, alone, always inside. He saw his dream of a safe place turn into a terrible public nightmare. This nightmare followed him everywhere and forever, sadly. The public focused only on the strange stories. They forgot the talented, kind man behind the superstar's big mask and fame. Michael felt like a prisoner in his own home. He was always running away from the loud noise of the outside world and all the people. His life became a lonely routine of trying to hide. He was trying to manage his deep emotional and terrible physical pain daily. He started traveling the world. He was trying to find a quiet place where he and his children could live simply and safely and free. But everywhere he went, the cameras followed him. The heavy pressure of being Michael Jackson never went away at all. He was rich and famous, but he was truly the loneliest man. He always searched for a simple hug and true, real love. Michael's life became much more difficult after the Neverland scandals. His public problems grew much worse, very quickly and fast. It was impossible for him to quickly regain the full trust of the people and all the media. This hurt him deeply inside, every day. He had won the first court battle, but the sad memory of the claims still followed him everywhere he went in the world, sadly. The papers continued to write about his strange life and the bad claims. The terrible pressure never stopped for him always, I saw. Michael felt a great need for safety and a simple life. But the world would not let him have this simple peace and quiet time. He traveled to different countries with his children. He was hoping to find a quiet place away from the news cameras and busy people. He wanted his children to have a life without the fear and constant stress. He knew this stress too well, since his own childhood days. But everywhere he went, the cameras followed quickly. The loud noise of the outside world was always near him, always, sadly. The fame he worked for since he was a child became a cage. This cage locked him away from simple life and simple happiness. Michael was very rich, but he faced a new, terrible problem. He now had a very large amount of debt that he needed to pay quickly. All the long court battles and the large payments had cost him a huge amount of money. This happened over many difficult years of stress. He knew he must earn huge sums of money again fast. He was forced to return to the performance stage very soon to work hard. This idea was hard for his tired body, but the need for money was greater. The need was greater than the terrible pain he felt daily. In 2005, a sudden new disaster hit Michael. He was forced to face court again for a new, very serious case and accusation. A different family made new, similar claims against him then. The world was shocked again by the terrible news and sad stories. This court battle was extremely long and tiring for Michael. He was already weak from many past years of fighting and deep pain. The world media wrote cruel and terrible news about him every single day. This made his life a great sadness and shame for him. Michael said all these new claims were completely false. He repeated that he was innocent of all bad things always and truly. He had to sit in the courtroom day after day. The stress of this long trial broke his tired spirit severely and completely. He looked weak and sad. The stress was so heavy. He could not eat or sleep well for many long months of fighting hard and strong. This public shame was harder than any physical pain. He felt alone against the whole world and the powerful media watching. The court process lasted for many months. The world watched every small detail of his private life on television always. Finally, the jury made a decision and found Michael Jackson innocent of all the bad claims against him, thankfully. He won the case, but the great stress had damaged his health. It greatly weakened his body forever after this hard fight with pain. He was free from court, but he was not free from the pain. He felt the deep exhaustion that the long battle brought him daily. He was tired of fighting, tired of hiding. He was tired of the world not seeing the kind, good man he tried to be always. Because of all this heavy pain and stress, Michael decided to leave America completely. This happened after the trial ended in court. He moved to live in different countries with his 3 children. He searched for a life that was quiet and simple and safe for them all. He hoped to find a normal life away from the chaos. His children could finally grow up in simple peace and quiet time there. But his body was already dependent on the strong medicines. He took them to sleep and to manage his constant pain always and deeply. The bright star who once shone so brightly began to fade away slowly. The heavy price of fame was just too much for him to carry. Michael was now far from Neverland. The memory of the 2 long court cases stayed with him like a heavy shadow always. He felt that the whole world saw him as strange and guilty. This happened even though the court said he was innocent of the bad claims. He lived only for his 3 children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket. He wanted to give them the safe life he never had before. He tried to keep them away from the cameras. He covered their faces in public. This was a clear sign of his own deep pain, I felt. But his large financial debt was a real and heavy problem. It forced him to make a very hard decision about his future life. He knew he had to return to the performance stage. This was the only way to quickly fix his huge financial debt problem. This decision meant putting his weak, tired body under the bright lights. It meant putting him under the heavy pressure of the whole world again. I want you to know, he announced his last major return concert series in London. He named the massive show, This Is It. He planned to give 50 concerts in a row in London. This was an unbelievably hard and challenging schedule for his tired body, I think. The public bought all the tickets very fast. The world showed that they still loved the King of Pop very much and loudly. This huge love from his fans gave Michael a final reason to fight. It gave him strength to prepare for the difficult shows ahead of him now. He started practicing, singing, and dancing for very long hours every day. He was pushing his old body to its absolute limits again and again. He was determined to give his best performance. But his body was weak from years of stress and constant use of painkillers. Michael struggled deeply with terrible sleeplessness at night. This was because of the immense emotional stress and past pain that he felt. The doctor who worked for Michael started giving him very strong, dangerous sleep medicines. He gave them to force him to rest every single night. These medicines were extremely dangerous to his weak body. The doctor helped him sleep, but made him much weaker inside daily. Michael trusted his doctor completely. He was not knowing that the strong drugs were slowly destroying his heart and his mind, sadly. The rehearsals were very intense. Michael showed flashes of his old genius, but he was clearly struggling for energy and strength. The people working with him saw his weakness, but they also saw the great need for the successful shows to start soon and happen fast. The constant pressure of the upcoming 50 shows was more than any human body could ever handle safely, I believe. The stage was calling him back, but the final curtain was already starting to come down on the life of the King of Pop. Michael needed sleep to survive the next year of hard work. But the medicine he took for sleep was the thing that would kill him. He lived in a strange world where the medicine for pain was more important than the food he ate or the water he drank daily. His whole life became a race against time and against his own weak body. He was trying to fulfill the promise of the 50 shows alone. I felt this desperation. He was forced to sacrifice his final health just to pay the high price of his past, great fame. He was preparing for a concert that the world wanted. He was too tired to even stand up straight sometimes at home alone. The date was the 25th of June, 2009. The world woke up to one piece of shocking, sad news on every screen and radio that day. The tragic news was simple and final. Michael Jackson had passed away suddenly in his Los Angeles home without a final goodbye. He was only 50 years old when he died. His death was caused by strong sleep medicine given by his trusted doctor, sadly. The doctor gave him a dose. The dose was very bad and too strong. Michael's tired heart stopped working in the quiet home. The King of Pop died at the peak of his fame, near his children, but he never found the simple peace he searched for in his life. His children lost their father. The world lost its biggest star. This was a moment of great shock and huge sadness everywhere. The police looked into the case. They found that Michael's doctor was responsible for his death. The doctor acted very wrongly. The story of Michael Jackson ended not with a final performance. It ended with a terrible sadness caused by loneliness and pain. His sad story is a great lesson about the cost of success, loneliness. It shows the heavy, secret pain he had always. He was the star who wanted his lost childhood. He only wished to be truly loved by the world and its people simply. Michael Jackson's music will live on forever in the hearts of his fans. The music keeps his great talent and spirit alive always. His death closed the curtain on a life. This life was lived under the brightest light and the deepest sadness at the same time. The world remembers his amazing moonwalk dance, his perfect singing. They remember the songs that made everyone happy and dancing. But his story is more than just music. It is a lesson about the real cost of becoming the biggest star ever, I believe. He was a man who tried hard to escape the sadness of his childhood, but the old pain always followed him closely and fast. He built a strong house of fame and money around himself, but that house could not protect his sensitive heart from sadness. The King of Pop showed the world a truth. True joy comes not from being famous, but from simple love and being understood. His final days, marked by stress and the dangerous need for sleep, showed one thing very clearly: he needed simple rest, always. We look at his life and see the sadness of a man. This man was loved by millions, but died feeling completely alone in his home. Michael Jackson will forever be the sound of pop music, but he will also be the face of loneliness in the modern world, sadly. His name will always remind us of something. The strongest lights often hide the deepest and most quiet shadows from the public. He taught us that even kings can be poor in spirit. True success is not measured by money, but by inner peace and simple joy. I hope that by hearing his story, you can understand the true price he paid for the music that made us all so very happy. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this very sad and very important story about the great king of pop.